I've got a question for you. How do you even make a sequel to a movie like M3GAN? How do you do it? Well, in M3GAN 2.0, the answer is they go way over the top and they go bigger than anything else. But let's dive through the good, the bad, and the ugly of M3GAN 2.0. So starting off with the good, the movie knows what it is. The movie knows that it's going way over the top, that this is just some kind of crazy, insane, trying to push the envelope film, and it knows it. It goes full bore, it knows exactly what it's doing, and everyone in the cast is all in on it. Allison Williams, Jermaine Clement, all of the characters that return from M3GAN 1, that are returning from M3GAN 2.0, they all understand it. The director, the writer, Gerard Johnstone, he understands it. You gotta go full big, full time on a sequel like this, and it feels a little bit Terminator 2-ish, and I know that's blasphemy. That is absolute blasphemy to say that this movie feels like the best sequel of all time, but it does feel like a little bit like Terminator 2, where Terminator 2, the only way to go was up from Terminator 1, and this movie does a similar thing. The humor is on point. The humor is great. Jermaine Clement plays this sort of Elon Musk type tech bro. It's basically an amalgamation of all these tech idiots that we have that run the world now, but it's a hilarious caricature of those guys. He's in a wheelchair, but he has neural implants, and he gets involved with Amelia, who is the other android, the evil android that M3GAN is fighting in this film. She's played by Ivana Sakno, who is fantastic and in the running, because we have it seems like every movie now in the running for the hottest a person has ever looked on screen. So at the end of the year, maybe we'll do the awards for that. But she is fantastic. She's not just a pretty face in this. She does play an android, so she gets a little bit, androidy in her performance, but she is hilarious. She does a great job with all of the material she's given in the first half of this film. The bad. Let's go with the bad, because there's a certain bit of it here where the movie is no longer a horror movie. M3GAN 1 still had some horror elements. It was still scary enough. This movie, all of that is out the window for action, comedy, stuff like that. So for people that are going into the movie expecting a horror movie or more of a horror movie, something a little bit similar to the first movie, you might be disappointed. It is not very much a horror movie, unless, of course, you are horrified by weird dolls that are sort of a little too tall and look like children. That might be horrifying. But other than that, M3GAN 2.0 ditches a lot of the horror elements that you've come to expect. It does feel cheap that this film is rated PG-13. One, because you want to see like the gore and stuff. You want to see people getting beat up by these androids and destroyed and all of that. And it feels cheap because Lord knows that we all have there's an R-rated cut coming to Peacock later this year. So if you're going to do that, why not just release the R-rated cut? I don't know. Blumhouse is trying to make money, but still, it feels cheap knowing that there is a version that has more gore, that has more horror elements in it that we're not getting in theaters. Finally, for the bad, the second act, it just kind of meanders along. It kind of falls into this rut. And there's a lot of action in the first section, and there's a lot of action in the third act. But the second act, it kind of meanders along. You're going along with this weird, like the FBI are really stupid in this film as well. And you're going along with this FBI agent who's played for laughs, but it's just kind of like overly dumb. And it kind of lost me a bit there in the second act. But then it picks back up, and you get this third act that does sort of save the whole thing. Finally, the ugly. I hate AI. I despise it. I despise generative AI. If you're an AI artist, you're not. This movie kind of normalizes it and is like, oh no, AI is your friend. And that coming from a Hollywood studio like this is kind of terrifying, because we all know where this is going. But that part of it, it really leans into it. Like, oh no, AI is your friend. Oh, we can live together with them and co-interact and all of that. And it's kind of just like, stop, just stop. We know what you guys are trying to do. Stop it. Like I said before, Ivana Sakno is great, but she gets sidelined. She is, for the first half of the film, she's fantastic. She's doing all these cool action stunts, and she's doing these funny scenes with Jermaine Clement. And then in the second half, she just kind of turns into a pretty face, and she's just a robot, and she's just sitting there. And then she fights with M3GAN at the end, but she doesn't get a whole lot to do. She doesn't get a whole lot to work with. And it's kind of weird, because like, she's such a good performance in the first half. In the second half, whoever, like, make it even, make it nicely paced, you know? It just kind of loses me with her getting this sidelined like that. And then finally, the movie feels like it's trying to do something different. It feels like it's trying to do something, and it gets to that point where you're like, oh, it's going to do something cool. And then it backs off. And it's just kind of frustrating as an audience member, because you get to this point and you get to this point, and then it backs off. And you're like, oh, cool, it's going to lead to this thing, this payoff, and then it turns into a car chase. Oh, it's going to lead into this thing, and it's going to turn into a payoff, and then it turns into something else. And it's kind of this whole just problem with the script overall, that it's very stop, start, and that is the biggest problem with the film that I have. But robots fighting and the hilarity, the humor, are what make this movie into something that's watchable. It is a bunch of stupid fun. If you're walking into M3GAN 2.0 and you're not going into it thinking, hey, this is going to be a movie about a childlike android fighting another android that's got a pretty face, that's going to have fight for the end of the, and for the decision on the end of the world for the human race. Sorry, I had to get through that one. Decision on the end of the world for the human race. One of them is going to get omniscient powers, but it'll be a battle of the century between two androids. What are you going into this theater if you're not expecting that? That's the biggest thing about M3GAN 2.0, is that you're going into it expecting it to be stupid fun, expecting it to be something like that. And it is that at the end of the day. It goes through this whole plot. Everyone gets time to shine. The movie is fun. It's stupid. It's funny. But at the end of the day, you will have a smile on your face, so you'll be entertained, and that's really all that matters about M3GAN 2.0. You can see it in theaters on June 27th, and you can see the R-rated cut, I'm sure, at some point later on Peacock. But if you like this review and you want to see more like this, you can check out this playlist right here, and it's got all of my reviews I've ever done on YouTube, so check it out.